Okay, we're here at the rally, so I just want to get some good footage. It's still early, we're expecting a lot more people. So I'm just gonna take a leisurely stroll down here. So you can see we have the giant truck there. Just want to get some good footage. Oh, sorry. The horses have
She's gonna love me tonight now. If you just do right.
I'm Brian, by the way.
All right, here we go. Got good footage.
Wow, let's see lots of people out there. Wow, are we psyched up? Are we ready to chat? Yeah, let's get some hands together here.
Probably in the same union as you. We're both steelworkers, 2009.
Okay.
Back up!
Okay, we ready to get going here? Let's hear ya! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Corporate greed has to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Corporate greed has to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Corporate greed has to go! Yeah! Okay! Now everybody, I'm gonna do a little chant here, so just repeat after what I'm saying here, okay? Ready to go? Are we psyched? Okay, here we go! We want a new contract!
We want a new contract!
IKEA wants to roll us back!
IKEA wants to roll us back!
Union busting is their thing!
Union busting is their thing!
We the Teamsters like to sing!
We the Teamsters like to sing!
Reading, writing, arithmetic!
Reading, writing, arithmetic!
IKEA's letters make us sick!
IKEA's letters make us sick!
1, 2, 3, 4!
1, 2, 3, 4!
They crammed a letter through our doors!
Crammed a letter through our doors!
5, 6, 7, 8!
5, 6, 7, 8!
IKEA won't won't negotiate.
IKEA won't negotiate.
9, 10, 11, 12.
9, 10, 11, 12.
I think you'll find some empty shelves.
Think you'll find some empty shelves.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We won't take it anymore.
We won't take it anymore.
What a way to start off here. Thank you. Here's Anita.
Thank you, Derek, for starting us off with such a great chant. We've kind of amended it a little bit to make sure it fits with what's going on here today. Thank you, everyone, union members, supporters, and, of course, special guests. We have Dave Simons, who was a shop steward for many years, who helped negotiate many contracts on behalf of this group. I am the business representative for IKEA and the local 213 members that work here. We have been on the picket line since May 13th, over 2 months now. This rally today is a respectful event, and it is here to we are here to show this company our solidarity in support of the IKEA members. Please respect what our traffic marshals are here for. They're here to keep you safe. Without that, I'm going to move in and give you a little bit of an overview of what IKEA, the company, is and the people. This rally is about the people. IKEA Canada, its parent, the Inga Foundation of Sweden, who operates most of the stores globally on behalf of one of the richest families in the world, Ingvar Kamprad and his sons. There are 343 stores globally, with gross sales of approximately $37 billion a year. IKEA is looking to double these gross sales by 2020. With just 12 stores in Canada, Richmond included, the gross sales were about $1.4 billion in 2012. And that was a 7% increase from 2011 to 2012. To put that in perspective, Walmart has more than 10,000 stores globally and gross sales of $443 billion. That makes about an average gross sales per store about $44 million. Well, if you look at IKEA's gross sales the same way, that means that each IKEA store does about $110 million in gross sales each. That handily outperforms Walmart. That's the kind of company we are dealing with. Now, let's talk about the people. The workers. This is a very diversified group of workers. They're dedicated workers. We have many long-term employees. Including the longest serving member in all of Canada, Linda Mueller. Where are you? Linda's a 34-year IKEA food service worker. We also have a large contingent of new members who were hired when this store opened back in 2012, only last year. They were hired thinking they were going to get equal pay for equal work. Yeah. That is not the case anymore. Teamsters Local 213 has proudly represented these members since the early 80s. I've looked at some of the past collective agreements and compared it to the last offer from the company, and it's actually quite shocking. Based on the last offer, the difference in starting wage has gone up $2.34 in the last 20 years. That's about 10 cents per hour per year, or year over year. If the minimum wage had not gone up, that would have meant only $1.18 over the last 20 years. I can assure you IKEA has made better profits than this in the last 20 years. Let's look at those top wage rates. 20 years ago, the wage rate for all wage bands was $15 to $15.55 an hour. That's for all wage bands. 20 years ago. 10 years ago, it was about $18.11 to $18.77 for all wage bands. That sounds pretty good. In the last offer that was rejected for all wage bands for new and recent hires, the range was between $11.75 and $19.80 for the top rate. The company says this is not going to impact workers. $11.75 is going to impact workers. These workers will never make as much as what their counterparts make. Still buzzing here. IKEA has enjoyed fantastic profits throughout the recession. These workers are only looking to keep what they have from the past contracts. We are not interested in concessionary bargaining. This includes a two-tier wage system that we fought hard to all but eliminate back in 2007. We're not interested in refighting the same fight. We want benefits for our members with the same eligibility requirements. We are not interested in contracting out our jobs that we've worked in and hard at for years. Noreen Taylor, 14-year cleaner. Nor are we interested in other monetary or non-monetary concessions that IKEA is trying to force on us. We are interested in the people. IKEA, you need to put the people before the profit. Thank you. I'd like to please introduce Irene Lensinger. She's from the BC Federation of Labor, and welcome. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Anita. On behalf of the 450,000 members of the BC Fed, I want to welcome you all to this rally that we're sponsoring with the Teamsters. You'll hear from Jim later, so I'm going to be really brief. And the first thing I want to say is that I used to be an IKEA customer. You know, I'm a teacher by training. I never actually graduated to that expensive furniture, right? And I am so disappointed in this Swedish company, a country with high rates of unionization, good social programs, who wants to make Canada their low-wage worker factory. It's absolutely disgusting. This is a dispute about greed. A company that has made enormous profits, wanting to increase those profits on the backs of workers, many of whom make less than $20 an hour. It's absolutely appalling. But we want to say to the workers here who are in a tough and long dispute, and we know what those are like and how difficult they are, that their fight is our fight. We're here to support them. We're here in solidarity with these workers, because when they win, and they're going to, we all win. This dispute will have an impact on every worker in this province, in this country, and indeed across the world. And so thank you, thank you, thank you to the workers who have been so solid and so strong in this dispute. Now it's my job to introduce the politicians and labor leaders out there who are here to support the workers at IKEA, Teamsters 213 members. Shane Simpson, MLA from Vancouver. Harry Baines, MLA from Surrey, and Labor critic. Adrian Dix, Leader of the Opposition and MLA from Vancouver. Thank you for being here. I'd also like to introduce Andrew Mercer, who ran in the last election and is a Teamster member. Welcome, Andrew. He's going to win next time. Don Davies, MP from Vancouver. Don. Thank you, Don, for being here. We have some union leaders here who are bringing the support and solidarity of their members. Darryl Walker, president of the BCGEU, one of the largest unions in the province. Jim Pearson with some new national job with Local 40 Unite here. the ILWU. Paul Farrow from QP, another very long and Tom Sigurdsson from the BC and Building Yukon Trades. Finally, I just want to recognize this woman right here. Because, you know, I've been on the picket line, I've been a union leader in strikes and lockouts, and it is tough, man. It is long hours, tough work, lots of stress, and Anita, thank you for the work that you're doing. And she said, we do it for the workers, that's why we do it, and we are behind you 100%. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Irene. That was fantastic. We have one other labor leader here, and he is Teamsters Local 213 Secretary Treasurer Walter Canta, and he's going to say a few words for us. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Glad to see you here. I'm not a politician. I speak from the heart. So if I stumble along the way, bear with me. I've been out there where you guys are for 3 months. I know how it feels. That building beside you there, you guys built it. You guys are the backbone here. This company, for many years, since your last strike, have been trying to change things and trying to make us look like the bad guys. They're wrong. They started this approximately 2.5 years ago with many grievances, playing with your paychecks, your vacations, your work schedules, and this is where we are today. I woke up yesterday morning at 7 o'clock having my coffee, and I listened to CKNW. Jim Sinclair made it simple. They're after the working people. 2 minutes later, HR comes out and says, oh, we're not paying the minimum wage. Could you imagine if the minimum wage today was $8? You'd be working for $8. It is pretty sad what they're trying to do here. This local is strong and will support you to the end of this thing. And I'm telling you right now, as you can tell, I'm probably shaking. But anyway, July the 3rd, Teamsters Canada Convention in Quebec, motion was passed forward, and as you guys are the beneficiaries of a strike benefit that was increased to $300, it was unanimously passed, and every executive board member of Teamsters Canada came up to me, and if I need any help, or you guys need any help, they will help us, and they've made that very clear. One thing I want to make it clear too, whatever rumors you're hearing about our strike fund, Merry Christmas, IKEA. We've got one and we are going to hold on for a long, long time. On another note, I'd like to thank all of the union supporters out there, the BC Fed, our own joint council, 464-155, and Local 31, and everybody else that's been out there. But the key that is important to this, and probably not many here, are customers. We have to respect, and really, I really support the ones that have not crossed that picket line. We are not finished yet. We have some other plans and we have some other things going. We hope that that company will come to the dance. We will always be available to come to that dance. We will negotiate, but we are not giving the farm away. We'll make that very clear. You guys have fought for 20 years to get where you are, and we're not going backwards. So again, I'd like to thank everybody, and my door is open, and everybody, the team down here at 213, we are a team. Everybody works together. So again, Anita, and everybody that's assisted her, please continue on and let's work forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Walter. Next, as I said, the workers are the most important people in this dispute. Mark Carone is a member of Teamsters Local 213, and he's a worker, long-term worker at IKEA, and he's going to talk a little bit about the IKEA culture. Thank you.
First off, I just want to say that I never thought I'd actually be here today, standing in a situation that we're locked out from our employer. I never thought 6 years ago we'd be here either. You know, what I do think about is I think about the first day that I started working here at IKEA and how excited I was. You know, you looked at this company and their values. Oh my God, I could so identify with it. And I thought, this is a company I'm proud and happy to work for. You know, I look at Ingvar Kamprad. IKEA stands for Ingvar Kamprad Elmtjärd Gunjard, which is where he's from in Sweden. Now, Ingvar Kamprad's story is an amazing story, and it inspires me to my core, even today. And my question to IKEA is, what would Ingvar Kamprad do? If he saw all these people out here today, the many, we're here to create a better everyday life for the many.
We are the many.
We are the many. Okay? Well, we have 350 people who work in this building. 30 of them crossed the line. You know, call them whatever you want, but they are still co-workers. The fact is, we are the many. Do the math. Who's the many? We are the many. Okay, the math is simple. We are the many. So we need to listen to the message of what IKEA stands for. And we're here to create that better everyday life for the many. Now, when we talk about what we're doing for the province as a whole, it's true. So it's not just the many, it's the many of the middle class of British Columbia. It's not just the many of the IKEA co-workers, it's the many citizens and workers of this province. That we can't allow these big companies with deep pockets to treat their people this way. Especially in my opinion, when you take a look at the culture, it's all about taking care of the people. Ingvar Kamprad has 9 points. The second one is IKEA spirit. And I'm proud to be part of the spirit I see out here today and on this picket line. Because we are the many! Okay? We are the many! And IKEA needs to hear this. Okay? This is not about profit. Remember, IKEA is a non-profit organization, and they're the most profitable non-profit organization on the globe. Okay? So we're not even a company. We are not even a corporation. My own personal belief calls it the Americanization and corporatization of IKEA. We are counting numbers. I am 410527. I am worth $343 per worked hour. That's who I am now. I'm not Mark. I'm not just a co-worker. Because if I don't like it, guess what? Hit the pavement. Just like every one of you. But you know what? The many chose to hit the pavement. Because we are the many. Get it through. Now also, if you think about it, in Ingvar Kamprad's 9 points, he talks about profit gives us resources. Take a look around you today, people. Look at what they are using the profit for. They're hiring these security guards to intimidate us. Okay? And we are the many, right? We are the many! They're hiring and putting up these fences so the customers can't see what's going on. They're lying. They are saying we are on strike, we are locked out. People, don't let it fool you. This is corporate America behaving in a socialistic Swedish environment, which is no longer what I signed up for 20 years ago, almost 21 years ago. So remember, this is what they're now using their profit for. They didn't use their profit to negotiate. They're not using their profit for the people. They're paying high-paid lawyers to fight stupid fights. And they are losing very, very often. You need to know this. It's a smoke and mirrors game, my friends. And remember, in creating the better everyday life for the many, and who's the many? We're the many, that's right. But remember, point number 6 Ingvar Kamprad has is a different way. And we must find a different way, because the other point is responsibility is a privilege. Take responsibility, IKEA. Step up. Pull down these fences and start negotiating. Find a different way. Use your profit to give you the resources you want, not what you're doing to the people. And remember, Ingvar's 9 point, I love it. Most things remain to be done. A glorious future. And I have to believe that when we stand strong and we go through what we go through, our environment will change in such a way that we will get what we need. So I thank you all, and I'm humbled to be here, to be able to share what I truly believe in, which is the values of IKEA, because this is what built this building. And I want you all to know that this is the first store in North America. This store is the backbone that made all the profit that created North America as well. There are people here who have been here for 20, 30 years who have been part of that growth for this continent. And this is the way we get thanked. Just remember, who's the many? We are the many. So we are creating a better everyday life for the many, not just us, but for every British Columbian who works out there who's middle class. And remember, most things do remain to be done. It is a glorious future. Stand strong, and I'm proud to be one. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. That was a fantastically inspired speech, and that is what we feel, each and every one of us here. I'd like to, thank you, Mark. I'd like to invite Teresa. Come on, Teresa. Teresa Terzon, another long-term employee at IKEA, and has a few words to say as well. Thank you.
Okay, first off, you gotta bear with me because I could choke. All right? Guys, are you taking this well? Got your cameras focused? All right, let's do this. I've been here for 16 years, and I'm proud to say I've been a happy member of this family. I was proud when I got hired because this was a company that knew how to treat their people well. If you don't mind holding this mic for me. People who have worked here for nearly 15 years should remember what this t-shirt was all about. October 9, 1999, our founder Ingvar Kamprad said we should thank the many, right? We should thank the many, and the many for him was all his workers, right? In October 9, 1999, every store in IKEA all around the world, all the employees shared the sales for the day. Yeah. I don't know if they still remember that, but that was then. This is how well they treated their people back then, right? You know how much that store made for that particular day? We made over $1 million for one day. And I was one of the last people that stayed in the store. It didn't matter if I worked 15, 16 hours that day because that was the most important day for me and for everyone that shared that day with all of IKEA. And we thank Ingvar for that. I will never forget that. That's why I've kept that t-shirt all these years. And that is why I came to speak here, because I want to remind the company what they did for us back then. This is not how we should be treated. No, we are good workers and we love what we do for the company. And what we're asking for, and I'm asking everyone that's new working for IKEA, just to remember that they know how to treat the people well. They have just forgotten how it is. And we are here to remind them of that again. Because back then, every year we would have tent parties. We had golf tournaments. They've taken that all out. And I don't understand why. Because we work hard and they say we've been unprofitable. I don't think so, because they wouldn't have put up that building at all. So I'm here, and you guys better take this really well and send it back to the office. We are here to remind the company that they can treat us much better than they have been treating us the last 8 years. I have faith in the company, and you better step up because we are going to stay no matter what. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Teresa. I have another worker. This worker, Henji San Juan, he's a new member. He was only hired last year when this store opened. Henji. Henji has also
Thank you, Anita. Good morning! Good morning, IFS! IFS stands for Food Services. I was hired a year and almost a half year now. And when I came in, actually, I was privileged enough to join the bargaining committee. And since early of this year, I had the privilege of knowing and also believing in the union which I now belong to. I believe what Teresa just told us a while ago, that we need to remind IKEA what they stood for long ago. I'm here standing on behalf of all the IFS people, the food services. I'm here standing because right now for the past 2 months and a half, they don't have any $1 breakfast. They don't have either meatballs, neither the salmon. They taught us well, but they did not take good care of us very well. I want to stand here and say thank you to my mentors in the union, especially the Teamsters, starting with Anita, with Jody, with Perry, with Doc especially, with Bernie and the rest, and Wilson and Bernie. Thank you so much for standing in us and making us believe that being a member of the Teamster is all what we need to believe and trust in you guys. Thank you so much and have a good day.
Thank you, Henji. That was lovely. Victor.
I don't know how to use that. I'm an
You don't
idiot.
have to.
Victor
Just hold it. It's on. So
is
just
going
leave
to
it on.
speak next. Give him a moment to get up here. Victor has done a lot of research and he's been providing us with a lot of different information about IKEA, the business, and other business that kind of goes towards retail. And I'm looking forward to hearing what he's got to say.
Represent cash.
Hello. You have to bear with me. I'm a little shy, so I actually wrote it down.
You rock, Victor!
Thank you. Okay, so I just want to share my experience as being a new employee. I'm a cashier with IKEA Richmond. I've only been Go Team Cash. So I've only been with the company a little over a year. And just a few points that I just wanted to note. For myself, just to give you an idea of what I've experienced, my hours have dramatically decreased since the first day that I started. When I started, I used to average about 15 hours, and I watched that number dwindle from 15 to 10 and down to 5. When it reached 5 hours, I said to myself that there's no way that the hours could get any lower. To my surprise, as of this year, the hours did get lower. I reached 0 hours. In April of this year, just to give you an idea, I was only scheduled for 4 hours for the entire month.
How do you get benefits, Victor? How do you get benefits with that?
Actually, yeah, I don't qualify for benefits. Another thing that IKEA misinformed tell me. When I asked management why I was at 0 hours, management told me it was because the store was underperforming. And because of the tough economic times, both IKEA Canada and IKEA Sweden were doing actually very poor. They weren't getting enough profits. Now, I'm at the lower end of the pay scale. I started at minimum, and now I'm at $11 an hour. So I find it hard to believe that IKEA cannot afford to pay me roughly $40 a week.
Make that $40 a month last, Victor.
Now, for those of you who don't know how scheduling works, scheduling is based on seniority and your availability. Now, basically, IKEA wants you to be available 24 hours a day. For me, that puts me in a catch-22 situation because I'm more than willing to give full availability. But if I do, they won't give me enough hours to be able to pay rent and pay my bills. if I tell them that I'm not available if I'm not available even for 1 minute during the week, they strip me of all my hours, as is the current. So this puts me in a really unique predicament because I'm employed and my family and friends are looking at me. It's like, how is it that you're employed with IKEA but you're not getting any hours? I'm still trying to figure that one out myself. I'm also a student. I'm in my last year completing my degree at Capilano.
Good for you, Victor.
I feel as a student, I feel that IKEA is punishing me for wanting to better myself through education.
It's growth and development, Victor. Growth and development.
Growth and development.
What's that? What is that?
Growth and development.
Oh, what's that?
My final points with regard to the two-tiered wage system. I, as a new employee, find it extremely demotivating that I'm trying to understand how IKEA wants me to be optimistic and productive at my job when I know that I'll never be able to make as much as my coworkers. I'm not asking for my pay to increase exponentially, but I do feel that it is in the least fair to be paid the same wage for the same amount of effort and the same amount of time that I put in compared with my coworkers.
Equal work, equal pay.
Yeah, and that's it. So thank you everybody for coming out. Thanks.
Thank you, Victor. I think that really provides a good snapshot of what our part-time workers are facing here. Our next speaker, I'm pleased to present Mr. Jim Sinclair, President of the BC Federation of Labor. Thank you.
You did great, Victor. You're not shy.
Thanks.
Mr. Sinclair might have some tough acts to follow here.
Those are fabulous. Just me, first of all, thank the people who got up there and told their stories. Because there's no way listening to them that you can't win this dispute. You're on the right side, folks. They were fabulous. You're part of the Teamsters and you're part of the many. And that many, yes, that many is the labor movement too. And when you walk this picket line every day, and it's not as much fun as it is today, I know. But when you walk that picket line every day, you're walking that for every single working person that wants a decent wage and go to work in a decent place. And if you lose, we all lose. That's not going to happen. When we win and you win, we all win. I also want to thank you on behalf of all of the new people that are going to work at this store. Because what you're fighting for today is really important. You're fighting for the people that work there because despite what they say in the media, they want to lower your wages too. This whole thing is about lowering your wages and stealing your benefits. They're stealing your benefits. But it's also about something as profound, which is a two-tiered wage system. Now, a lot of people don't know what that is. Two-tiered sounds like a cake. But it's actually not a cake at all. It's a particularly profound form of discrimination that's used by employers to divide working people. That's what this is. It's the exact opposite. The exact opposite of everything we as a union movement believe. Because our fundamental belief is that all the people standing here today are equal. That when they go in that building, they work hard every day and they're paid the same regardless of the color of their skin, how old they are, how young they are, they're paid the same. And that's not a stay, folks. That is what we stand for. And let me say clearly, it's not just about screwing the new folks, because once you let that cancer back in this building, then they use it to lower your wages down too. And that's what it's all about. Of course, we know that IKEA has to do this because they're so poor. That they just simply can't afford to pay $19 an hour.
How about the fences?
We know we can't
They afford.
expect them to pay decent wages because this company's struggling every day to make ends meet. Which is particularly insulting about this whole dispute Because let's just say it, last year, whatever you call where they hide their money. And let's be clear, they may not be a company, they're a trust. But the trust moved from Sweden to Denmark to hide their tax paying. They didn't want to pay taxes. That's shame on them. But that trust, or whatever you want to call it, made $4 billion last year. And they made $3 billion the year before. There is absolutely no reason why we should tolerate that company paying less wages to people working there today. Absolutely none. They may call the street down here you walk on, they may call that street Sweden. But let me tell you, we're a long way from Sweden on that picket line. Because in Sweden, the workers who work at IKEA start at $19 an hour. We'll take that, okay? And they have benefits. They have benefits. And they have 5 weeks holidays. And there's no reason why the people who work in those stores in Sweden shouldn't get that rate and get that respect and have a union, but there's no reason why you shouldn't get it either. And that's what we're here fighting for. Yesterday, the reporter asked me, well, don't you know this store has got terrible productivity? I thought to myself, that's the excuse they're using?
That's leadership.
Yeah. Well, I said to him back, I said, you know, that's true, terrible productivity. I was talking to some of the workers there, and they were telling me how they got a turnover like a revolving door of all the managers. Yeah. The fact is, if there's a productivity problem, it belongs at the top, not the bottom. That's the truth. Why should we wear that? And by the way, let's think hard about this productivity issue. How does productivity get improved by lowering people's wages? What does that have to do with anything? In fact, if you want more productivity, respect people. Respect their jobs. Respect what they do. So I'm really proud to be here today. I'm really proud to be here today because I'm with a group of people that are standing up for all of us. A group of people that have been challenged by this company. Let me just say this, and I thought I'd never say this. This is an anti-union company. I don't want to say that about IKEA because I believed a lot of the stuff about IKEA, and when I walk in my house, it looks like a showroom at IKEA, okay? But the fact is, this is an anti-union company. They closed down for an hour, they reopened again, and said, oh, come back to work, everybody. You're not on strike, you're not locked out. They didn't tell you, though, you're coming back for half the pay. The fact is, that's anti-union, sending letters to people at their home saying, we want to bargain backwards. The longer we walk you out, the less we're going to offer to pay you. You know, this is not, it's shameful. This is not the way to get this store back working properly so I can go and finish my house. The fact is, it's only going to work one way. And this isn't about IKEA. We know who IKEA is. We know what they've done. The real test in this dispute is us. That's the real test here. 25 or so people went back to work. Let me just say, that's the wrong way to go back to work. Absolutely the wrong way to go back to work, and the Teamsters did the right thing. By taking action. Because we can't let that happen. But there's only one way to go back into that building, folks. Only one way to go back into that building, and that's united, together, and strong for a decent collective agreement. And if IKEA thinks they're going to get you back any other way, they better think again. They better go back to the bargaining table, take the concessions off the bargaining table, treat you with respect, negotiate a collective agreement, and you'll be happy to go back to work because you're suffering too. But that's the only way back, folks. So on behalf of the labor movement, we've been through battles. We go through battles all the time. Right now, over in the North Shore, there's a group of workers been locked out too, at the North Shore Winter Club. What do they want to do there? They want to lower wages. They want to cut back hours. They want to lower conditions and bust the union there too. All across North America, we're seeing this trend to make the gap bigger. Well, guess what? At this place, that's not happening. So we'll be there, we'll walk your lines, we're advertising to our members, this store is going to suffer, we're telling people not to shop, and that's at the end of the day, stand together. I leave you with a thought. Once when I was young in the labor movement, I walked a few picket lines, When I was young, I was telling the president of my union how to run the union. Boy, I was young, I knew everything. The older I got, the less I knew. I don't know how that happens. So he told me to shut up and listen. He said there's some things, and these are his words, and he's dead today, and he went to jail for 1.5 years for refusing to take down a picket line and spent 1.5 years in Ocala. Put his money where his mouth was. Anyway, he said to me, there's 2 things you have to learn if you want to help the working class. I said, oh, what's that? He said, well, the first thing you have to learn is that we never got a damn thing we didn't fight for. And you know what? When you pick up that collective agreement of yours, every piece of stuff in there that counts for you, wages, benefits, hours of work, seniority, none of that happened because you were sitting in the IKEA lunchroom and your manager came in and said, oh, can I excuse you for a second? I don't mean to interrupt, I just want to be polite. But I noticed you didn't have a good enough wage, I'll give you a wage increase. Well, you need a pension plan. The fact is, we fought for everything. So I looked at Homer and said, okay, so what's the next story? I'll buy that one. He said, you don't get to keep it unless you keep fighting. So sisters and brothers, let's keep fighting. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Jim. This has been fantastic. I'm so glad all of you came out. I have one more speaker, Mr. Larry Sargent, Brother Larry Sargent, Teamsters Local 31.
Hello, IKEA workers. How you doing out there? All right. You know, I got an email from Anita and Walter asking myself and Stan, who's the president of our local, if you guys could bring the truck out to here. We're like, not a problem, because this is what we like to do. As Teamsters, we stick together, we fight together. Okay? I brought the truck here today. I seen you guys on the picket line, came down here with a horn. All I could see was smiles, happy people, and cameras, and that's good. Showing these guys with their cameras what you guys are all about. The only reason I'm up here today is I brought the truck. I thought that's all I was going to do, but nope. I get a phone call from Stan. I got to go out of town on business, so I have to come in and speak on behalf of Local 31 and the internet. Just so you know who Stan is. Stan is an international vice president of Teamsters Canada. He's on the executive board of the International. He goes into the meetings with Jimmy Hoffa on the executive board. So not only Canada, you guys have the support of every Teamster everywhere. Stan's story that he couldn't be here, like I said, he phoned me and asked me to stand on the stage and say a couple of things for him. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not a long speaker. I'm not a very good speaker, but I know what he would want you guys to do. He'd want you to stick together, fight hard, and let you guys know that he's also the joint council, president of the joint council here. They're all behind you. All 4 locals showed up today. So we're all supporting you. We're all behind you. And Teamsters Canada is behind you, strong as well. Thank you very much, and you're gonna make it.
Thank you, Larry. And I think we need to do a huge round of applause and show how much we love the Local 31 truck. And a thank you for Larry and Kaylee and all the Local 31 guys for coming out and helping us with this today. I also have one other acknowledgement I'd really like to make, and that's to CUPE Local 3966 members. They raised some money and made a donation, and I think it's important to recognize that 3 of the members that work for IKEA, Sean, Chantel, and Stephanie Jeet, their father works for that CUPE Local, and we are one big family. I think that shows really how diverse and how interconnected we really are. Thank you, CUPE. Again, I want to thank everybody out here. I think Irene maybe has a few more words to say, and then we'll wrap things up.
I just wanted to acknowledge 3 people that I missed the first time. It's a good thing I get a second chance up here. One is Rob Ashton, also from the ILWU. He's an international vice president. I can remember what that guy told me. Stand behind the speakers, right? And I forgot my own union. Paul Steer is here. He's president of the Delta Local and on the executive of the BCTF. It's always bad when you forget your own union. And there was one more, John Bale, National Director of Canadian Union of Postal Workers. Thank you, John, for being with us. Now, I just want to say, this is a complicated dispute. And lots of times the things we do in unions are complicated. But our principles are really simple. We're stronger together. We have to look after each other. We can't leave anybody behind. And we never win anything if we don't stick together. And we have a group of workers here who have been living those principles for 9 weeks. Thank you to them. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we understand we're going to stick with you. Thank you again.
Thank you, Irene. Again, I don't even know where to start. This is such a huge turnout. It's such a big, it's so important that everybody has the support and they feel like they're one happy family here, because it is tough being out here. We've been out here for over 2 months now.
Who's the other people?
I'm getting emotional now. Anyway, thank you very much. Let's just go out there with people before profit, and we are going to bring this home and get back to the negotiation table and do what we need to do. We're going to close with, of course, Derek singing Solidarity Forever!
Good. I want to thank all the ABC politicians coming out. Really to know you guys are behind us. NDP! 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 Okay, thank you for coming out. Okay, we're going to do a little solidarity song here, so everybody knows Solidarity Forever. We're only doing one verse. It's an IKEA verse. Okay. Okay, ready? Where's my singers? I know you guys are good. Okay, ready? Okay. IKEA's contract offers a slap across the face. They send us nasty letters and won't negotiate. We will fight the management until we sing our victory song. For the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. That's it!
Thank you. Fantastic. Put this down.
Hi there.